Hey everybody, it's Brian Alston, self-worth coach. How you doing? Um, so I am wanting to welcome you to re-recording of episode 8 for my webcast, Finding My Smile Again. So I hope I decided to do it live, and I thought maybe I'd just open it up to people, let them watch along. So I'm not going to go through the same content that I did yesterday. It's good. It's actually it's okay, but it's up there in the playlist if anybody wants to follow it over on my YouTube channel. But I just thought I'd start today and do it fresh and throw it out there live to people. So I hope everybody's doing well on this Friday, and I want to thank you all for following along. Give me 1 second here. I'm just trying to adjust some video feed. Okay, there we go. So, still learning all this tech stuff. It's a bit draining. I'm enjoying it. I just don't have a whole lot of time for it right now with everything else going on. Which brings me to what happened the past couple days. And very simply, I had plans for yesterday and today with the webcast to do something kind of fun. I had a couple different topics that I was working on for people, but one thing that I have come to realize with uh, the webcast or podcast or recordings or whatever you want to call them is that um, I can set everything, the best laid plans of men and all that. Um, it doesn't always work out the way you hoped, and the past couple of days have been a little rough for me. There's just so much going on. As I've mentioned, I want to be as open and honest as I can. Can't go into all the details on everything, but as I've talked about before, I had some serious water damage in the home, and it really gutted the place. So I'm spending my time between here and elsewhere, and just to keep things going in life, and so I don't lose my sanity, and so I can get a shower in and a shave and everything. So sometimes it just weighs on you. And one of the things that's also frustrating me is, as I've mentioned, I lost my server, which it happens. It's a computer thing. I've dealt with them before. It's just as I've dealt with them in the past, my servers tend to get bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, when they crash, that means a bigger and bigger recovery. And it's been going on for weeks. And one of the things that has gotten to me is I had forgotten to take care of myself a little bit here. And what I was doing was I was trying to do just the bare necessities to give myself the ability to fix the server situation. And because of that, it's been going on weeks. Now I find that I've been doing it wrong, and I pretty much have to start the whole process over again. I ended up buying myself, because the old drive I was using was pretty bad, I ended up buying myself a new Samsung drive here, which has been helping. But the truth is, what I should have done is what I told myself in the very beginning. I should have bought myself a brand new hard drive for the computer, a secondary drive as big as the server drives. So we're talking at least a terabyte of memory. And not to go into all the tech on this stuff, the bottom line is the difference being I'm struggling to crawl right now versus getting the job done quicker. I shot myself in the foot. Let's put it as simply as we can, and it happens. It happens to everybody. And the reason I shot myself in the foot was I talked myself out of what I deserve. I deserve to have that extra drive, not because it's a tech thing and it's an electronic ooh and ah and it's exciting and new. No, it comes down to one simple question: would it help me get the job done that I need to get done? Would it make that much of a difference? And the answer is yes, it would have. And I knew that. I knew that when I asked myself it originally. But what then I asked myself was, but do I really need it? What can I do just to get by without spending any money? And I talked myself out of it. Sometimes we're our biggest enemies. The lesson that I'm relearning here is to remind myself that I deserve things to help myself, that I need to practice that self-love a little bit more. So I broke down and I finally ended up, not last night, but the night before, going online and ordering the internal hard drive. Even though I bought this other one, it's the right move. It's going to let me completely move everything off this server and get the server up and running. Even though I'm going to need weeks to finish recovering everything, I'll at least have a fully functioning computer, which will help with all the video work that I'm trying to do, which was part of the cause for the video issues yesterday. And it'll restore the files that are on my server already that I still have, so that I can actually function. My budget, all my passwords on an Excel spreadsheet, all that stuff that I need, all my contact information. Long story short is I should have done this a long time ago. And we are our own worst enemy. And I'm pretty good at doing that to myself over the years. I'm getting better. It didn't take me nearly as long this time as it has in the past to do something for myself. The other issue is that with all that's been going on and all the roughness, and hi to whoever's out there, I do see somebody watching the live, I appreciate it. With all that's going on, I neglected myself health-wise. Okay, so Wednesday was supposed to be my second weigh-in, the first just being the initial weigh-in last week, and I had all intentions of doing it. Got to the house, had picked up breakfast on the way. Chance was doing good. We got in the house and everything. I kept saying to myself the entire drive, don't forget, weigh in before you eat, weigh in before you eat, weigh in before you eat. Got in the house and I got right to doing what I was doing with papers and stuff, and I totally forgot about it. Ended up eating, and about an hour after that, I remembered, damn it, I forgot to weigh myself in. And it wouldn't be that big a deal, and it's really not. But I did promise to stay open and honest with it, and I kind of shot myself in the foot again. It was an honest accident, but I did weigh myself later on, and what I found was I did go up a pound. Unfortunately, I was really hoping to see a better number, but again, as I've said before, this is a journey about health and not about numbers. It just would have been nice. So I was a little in my head about that too, because I didn't do it at the right time, and I did go up a pound. But that being said, with all the craziness going on here, and I wish I could show you guys everything in the house that's keeping me from just living normally. I can excuse a couple things there and give myself a break, and that's what I'm trying to do. I had promised myself over the last weekend, that I was going to get some food delivered so that I could restock and have some healthier meals here instead of eating fast food on the insurance company's dime. But the truth is that I didn't get that done. Last weekend turned into a marathon session of trying to recover files, and I just didn't get there. So I did exactly what we were talking about in one of my previous episodes, which was because I failed to plan, I planned to fail. So I shot myself in the foot again. So when I had this realization of all this stuff kind of crashing down on me, about 2 a.m. on Wednesday, going into Thursday, I stopped myself. I realized that I was having an issue, and I was starting to circle the drain, as they say. I was conscious enough in my awareness to realize this and to use the tools to pull myself out of it. So at that point, I immediately said, stop. How can I help Brian? And the answers that came to me was, number one, it was time. Just order the drive. And actually, it arrived today. It's sitting in a box in the other room. After this, I'm going to start fiddling with that for a little while. That was number one. And number two was at 2 in the morning, I was able to order some food from Walmart and have it delivered for 8 a.m. the next morning, which was great. And the insurance company bought me an electric griddle, whether they know it or not, because there's nothing in the house right now. If I were to show you the kitchen, it's gutted. There's nothing there. There's no appliances there except for a refrigerator and my chest freezer. That's it. So I have nothing to cook on. The air fryer that I have that I love for my healthy cooking, it was caught up in all the damage too. So it's dead. It's not working. So I've had no way to cook a couple pieces of chicken or whatnot here. And I took it upon myself to take care of myself, and I put that order in as well. And I said, you know what? If somebody questions it, let them question it later on. I need to take care of myself. So I practiced that self-care. I ended up staying in the condo that night because it was already 2 in the morning. I think by the time I fell asleep, it was probably about 4 o'clock or 5. And I was up a couple hours later. And yesterday I was completely washed out because of that. But what ended up happening yesterday filled me with gratitude, because had I not taken care of myself, well, let me start from the beginning. So I got up. Normally in that situation, I would have been without anything to drink or eat for breakfast or lunch or dinner or anything like that. But my groceries were already sitting right at my door, ready for me, because I thought enough to take care of myself moving ahead. I was so filled with gratitude for that, having that, just that little thing, to make coffee, to have some breakfast, and to just be able to get into the day. And for those who know me, don't mess with my coffee. So I love coffee out is fine. I like making my own. I make it a little stronger, and it's me. I like it the way I like it. And first thing in the morning, that's me. So I did that for myself. I gave myself a break from working on recovering all the files yesterday. Why? Because I knew I was going to have this drive coming in today. And with this, there's no sense in killing myself trying to do that when I had so much other stuff that I'm trying to get through now that I'm back in the office, at least working. So knowing that I could take that off my plate was another moment of gratitude, because I would have just kept pushing myself and pushing myself worse. That being said, between Wednesday and Thursday, I had a pile, literally a foot high here, of papers and stuff because of everything going on that I've just been piling up next to the desk, and it's been slowly taking over, and I haven't had time to go through it. It gave me the time to do that and to go through it. So these little itty bitty things that I did to tell myself I deserve this and to take care of myself made a huge impact in my mindset, in my emotional well-being, and just in the actions and the things that I could get done yesterday. So when you stop and think about it, we get ourselves to this point. We get ourselves to this point where we get all screwed up in our heads and our thoughts and our feelings, and it freezes us, it paralyzes us. Why? Because we forgot the basic rule, the simple tenet that we have to practice, that self-love, that self-care, that we deserve this, that we are worthy of this kind of self-love and self-care. And it's sad because in today's society, there's so many examples of where we get beaten down by people, made to feel like we don't deserve simple things in our life, simple human, rights that everybody should have, the pursuit of happiness. And I'm not going to go into a whole political thing or social thing here. We all know what's going on in the world. But here's an example. Have you ever worked in a job where you've been made to feel guilty for calling in sick? I know I have. It happens. But you're honestly sick. It's not like you're running off to Vegas for the weekend. You're sick, and yet you're made to feel bad. Have you ever been called at home while you're sick because they need you to jump on the computer and do something? I've been there. It sucks. There's no other way around it. But we train ourselves to believe that we don't deserve it because of all this happening. And that's a shot at our self-esteem. That knocks our self-worth down. And if we do that to ourselves, we're stepping that much further away from our happiness and our best lives and who we're supposed to be. And there's no one else out there that's going to tell you got to do this for yourself and make it stick. It's something that you have to not only believe in, but you have to practice all the time. Is checking in with yourself to see how you're doing. And if you're not, making sure you do these couple little things to get yourself in a much easier space going forward. Now, it doesn't seem like much. Ordering groceries, jumping on Amazon and ordering a drive. What did I spend? Money. Yeah, well, money is important, but so is my mental health and my emotional health and getting other things done. I'd be hard pressed to say, you don't think about them, that you don't think about the money. Of course you do. If money's tight, you're going to think about it. But the truth is, what I did for myself was worth so much more than the little bit I spent on food, which I was going to spend anyway, and that drive, which in essence saves me weeks and weeks of work ahead of me before my server can be fixed. My server can be fixed by tonight, or at least restored, and I'll deal with recovering the files later on. But the amount of mental anguish and stress and emotional anxiety over it all, there were no words to explain how that really just takes a toll on you. So by doing everything that I did, my day was a little easier. Now, I was emotional. I was raw yesterday. I absolutely admit that. It had been a hellish few days or weeks. And at the end of it, I came out the other end better with everything that I did. Let's put everything I did aside. I was clear-headed enough by the end of the night, even though I was exhausted, to be able to say, I'm done for the night. I'm actually going to leave at a semi-decent hour, and get some real sleep. I actually got 7 hours of sleep last night. I woke up right at the alarm at 8:15 and shocked that I woke up and I was feeling wonderful. By the way, not for nothing, king size bed. Just a little side note here. I have been fortunate enough on the nights that I've had to stay away from the house to sleep on a king size bed with these heavy set pillows that are just fantastic. I recommend a king size bed to anybody in this world. And I'm telling you, the next bed that I get will be a king size bed, because I've tried to sleep with Chance on my bed. It doesn't work as well as you'd think. He just keeps moving over and over and over. He's like, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. But it's difficult to sleep with him on my bed currently because he does snuggle right up to me, and I'll wake up several times in the night feeling like I'm just about to fall off the bed. The king size bed, I've had absolutely no problems with him sleeping on with me, and I don't feel like I'm falling off the bed, and I've actually gotten some good sleep when I've gotten it. So highly recommended to everybody. But to pull back from that tangent, I got sleep last night. That was the biggest thing that I needed for myself. And I didn't even really realize how much I needed it. I've gone many nights where I've been so exhausted, I've only gotten a few hours of sleep or whatnot. My friend Rich Norris and he and I often joke because we've had times where he's jumped on because he's a farmer and he's jumped on, saw me online, and he was like, "Good morning." I'm like, "Yep, I'm just about to go to sleep." So we've passed each other in the night more than once, I would say. But I got the sleep last night. That helped improve my mental and emotional health. It improved my energy levels today. It let me concentrate on things that I needed to get done. Now, I will be honest, I didn't do a whole lot today. That was a conscious choice, though, and one that was afforded to me because I got sleep last night and I could think a little clearer today instead of nose to the grindstone pushing forward. I needed to call an audible and give myself a break. I needed it long before this, but I couldn't see it because I was too close to it. It's that old expression, you can't see the forest for the trees. I was too close to it, and I've been pushing so hard, and I've been just raw, and I know that's what I felt. Overworked, overwhelmed, just exhausted. But I had to keep going in my mind because I needed to get this stuff done. Sometimes what you need is someone to help give you a change in perspective. Let you get yourself outside of the boxed in view that you have, even for a second, to change your perspective and see things a little differently. That's what I do as a coach for other people. That's what I do as a coach for myself. This stuff didn't just happen randomly that I did in the last few days. It's stuff that I have been training myself to do and using the tools that I've learned and the experience that I have as a life coach to help myself, to help others maintain a higher level of energy, a level of positivity, a level of happiness that's leading me to my best life, okay? And helping me restore my smile to my face, okay? What I have learned from this, and I will say, as much as I love helping others with this kind of situation, and it's easier for me to help others, it's much harder to do it for myself. Number one, I'm a very stubborn person. So, I'm probably the most stubborn client I have. But the truth is, unless you're practicing these tools, you'll never see it happening yourself. That's why people need to hire a coach or a therapist or a counselor or somebody to help them or talk to friends. When you're recognizing it within yourself, when you're a coach, you're walking the talk. But now you're playing both client and coach there. So what you're hoping is that the muscle memory for doing these things kicks in and catches you. And the more you do it, the more that's exactly what's going to happen. Your awareness is greater. I would say that since I took a break, it's been probably about a week and a half since I really took a break for myself. I remember years ago, multiple times having where, it would go on forever, and I didn't know how to catch myself. I didn't have those tools in place. I didn't have those practices in place. So I'm very grateful that I do. I'm grateful that I had good education with this and that I've had the opportunity to practice it and take care of myself as well as help others. So if you're finding yourself in those positions, reach out to somebody. You may not know what to do for yourself, but just letting somebody else know that how you're feeling is going to help. And if you're in a position where somebody comes to you like that, that may be a flag right there that they're looking for some help. They're not asking you to give them your solution, but they're asking for something. Usually we are when we start talking to people about issues that are happening, even though we may not know what we're asking for. So with all that being said, this leads to an awareness. It helps me to create a better focus for myself and an awareness to allow me to make changes, taking the break for today that I needed. If I didn't have that sleep last night, I guarantee you I would have been right back here working on these files and trying to fix this another day and stressing through it. And if you've ever seen Brian's stressed face, it's not pretty. It's not something that I recommend seeing. Try telling Brian there's no coffee in the morning, and you'll see his stressed face. But the long and the short of it is this: we got to practice self-care. Sometimes we got to call an audible. We got to throw out the plans for the day and say, there's something not right here. I need to practice a little self-care. What do I really need right now? And it's not getting through a page-long to-do list. It's not, entering every single phone call that comes in, an email that comes in, and pay every bill right that second, or keep working on a project. No, it's called taking a breath, calling an audible, taking care of yourself. Little changes have huge impacts. Make a little course correction. Make a little change. Treat yourself a little better. Remember, you deserve this. You deserve to be treated well. You deserve self-care and self-love. And if you're getting love and care from outside, from other people, from other things that you do, wonderful. Embrace them fully. But don't forget to take care of yourself at the same time. There's only one person who can provide you self-love and self-care, and that's you. And the only way you're going to do it is if you're conscious enough to see it. So I ask you, through this weekend coming up, take a moment for yourself and check in. Ask yourself what you deserve. What do you need right now? Not what do you want. We're not talking about running out and buying a Ferrari. But what do you need? What's going to make a difference in making your life easier right now? And going forward. Don't try to talk yourself out of it. Just listen. The answers will come to you. And if they don't, give me a call. I'll work with you. I'll work with you to pull those answers out. Because they're there. We just have to learn to listen to them. And that takes time and practice. All right, gang. On this beautiful Friday afternoon, I'm going to call it here for the day. So thank you so much for everyone who's been supporting me. Thank you for the people who I see online now. Thank you for those who've been following the videos and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Check out the link tree. And the link tree is BCAlston01. Check out my links. Thank you for continuing to support me and letting me do what I love to do and helping myself and other people find a better or a best me. Most of all, thank you for helping me find my smile again. I love you all. And until I talk to you next, have a great day, okay? Thanks, everybody. Bye.